Another woman destroyed by Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. Marjorie Taylor Greene resigns. As I sit here and take in all of the news from every direction, all I see is deceivers, liars, corporate media, cover-ups, agenda, all pushing the same propaganda. It's time for a game changer, a visionary, an innovative person who changes the way that people think of the situations. It's time for Game Changer TV, telling it like it is. Get in the game. Marjorie Taylor Greene resigns. Thank you for tuning in to Game Changer TV. I'm your host, Terry Lynn, and this is the channel where every day we're telling it like it is. Today is late November 21st, 2025, so this will probably get posted November 22nd. But about an hour ago, Marjorie Taylor Greene announced that she was resigning. Another woman who has been destroyed by Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. Let's go dig in why she's resigning. Friday, November 21st, 2025, Marjorie Taylor Greene announces she's resigning from Congress after nasty breakup with Trump. Greene said her decision to resign was meant to avoid a hurtful and hateful primary from a candidate backed by the president. From 8:30 p.m., Marjorie Taylor Greene leaving Congress after feuding with Trump. Her term was supposed to end January 2027. However, she recently announced today her intention to resign from office, with her last day in Congress set for January 5th, 2026. This decision comes amidst a public conflict with President Donald Trump. Is it just over a conflict, or is she in fear of her life? November 18th, just 3 days ago, Marjorie Taylor Greene says that Trump's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein files is destructive to the MAGA movement. Greene and Trump, once close allies, have had a public falling out over the Epstein issue. Then Trump started making up names for her like nasty and wacky. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Trump has new nicknames for Marjorie Taylor Greene, calls her wacky. Because, all he can do is insult people. People with small vocabularies, that's all they can do. From November 15, 2025, Marjorie Taylor Greene, a former key political ally of Donald Trump, said Saturday she was being targeted by a wave of threats after the U.S. president lashed out at her on social media. The 51-year-old Republican Congresswoman had previously been a standard bearer of Trump's Make America Great Again movement, but the president on Friday announced that he was withdrawing all support for Wacky Marjorie. From yesterday, from 4 days ago, November 17th, Marjorie Taylor Greene claimed that her push to release the Epstein files was the main reason behind Trump's traitor comment, highlighting her past support for him. She also said that his remarks put her life in danger. Marjorie Taylor Greene claims her life is in danger after Trump labels Marjorie Taylor Greene and insisted that no one cares about her.
I was called a traitor by a man that I fought for 6 years for. And I gave him my loyalty for free. I won my first election without his endorsement, beating 8 men in a primary. And I've never owed him anything, but I fought for him for the policies and for America first. And he called me a traitor for standing with these women and refusing to take my name off the discharge petition. And today you are going to see probably a unanimous vote in the House to release the Epstein files. But the real fight will happen after that.
CBS News congressional reporter Torian Small. Torian, good to see you. Can you walk us through the break that we're seeing in the Republican Party ahead of this vote that's expected to happen tomorrow? And there was a back and forth between Marjorie Taylor Greene, I should say, and the president.
Yeah, considering the fact that Congresswoman Greene is and has been such a staunch supporter of the president, a fierce defender and cheerleader, this rift is pretty seismic. We've seen the breakdown happen over a couple of weeks now, largely surrounding this Epstein vote. But ultimately, though, we've seen, as the president has done to previous political opponents, the name calling that he's used with other opponents. He's using with Marjorie Taylor Greene. In fact, a post from social media, he said, or he called her wacky Marjorie Traitor Brown. And in parentheses, remember, Green turns brown when there's rot involved. Oh. Not afraid to go to the name calling for her, but this is something that Green herself has said she's had quite a bit of pause with as she's at this inflection point of her support for the president. She's taken to social media, she's taken to the Sunday shows to say that she's also reflective of the vitriol that she's brought to public discourse. She's been apologizing for it, but she's acknowledged that the feud with Trump is bringing what she's calling death threats and great harm to her and her family. This is the president's response to her saying that she's now concerned by his rhetoric.
Those are the types of words used that can radicalize people against me.
Her life is in danger? Who's that?
Marjorie Taylor Greene, she says.
Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't think her life is in danger. Frankly, I don't think anybody cares about her.
Trump dismisses Marjorie Taylor Greene's claim that his attacks put her in danger.
Tonight, President Trump, amid major questions still in the Jeffrey Epstein case, the president now lashing out at some of his own supporters who are demanding answers about the Epstein files, calling them stupid people. Meantime, tonight, even some Republicans are now calling for a special counsel in this case. Here's our chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce now.
Tonight, President Trump lashing out at some of his own supporters for demanding that the Justice Department release the files from the investigation into sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Trump calling the Epstein conspiracy theory, which his own top allies have pushed for years, a scam and a hoax, adding my past supporters have bought into this expletive, hook, line, and sinker.
They're stupid people.
Today in the Oval Office, I pressed him. You said this was all a hoax. Has your Attorney General told you this was a hoax? What evidence have you seen of that?
It's not the Attorney General. No, I know it's a hoax. It's started by Democrats.
But Trump and some of his closest allies were the ones who stoked shadowy theories about Epstein and his so-called client list, and Trump rewarded them. This was Kash Patel, who the president named FBI director.
What the hell are the House Republicans doing? They have the majority. You can't get the list? Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are.
Dan Bongino, who Trump named deputy FBI director.
I don't trust any story they tell me about Jeffrey Epstein. There is a reason this client list is hidden.
In 2023, the president's own son, Donald Trump Jr., demanded, show us all the Epstein client list now. In February, Attorney General Pam Bondi made clear reviewing and releasing the Epstein files was a top priority.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump.
But over the 4th of July weekend, the FBI and the Justice Department released a memo saying the client list never existed and that they will not be releasing any more information about Jeffrey Epstein. Since then, the outrage among some of the president's supporters has only grown.
Like, look, where's the Epstein files? Boo, can't find them. Don't exist. Like, they can get away with man. Oh, yeah.
But Trump digging in.
Pam Bondi, I really think that she's done very good. She says, I gave you all the credible information. And if she finds any more credible information, she'll give that too. What more can she do than that?
But tonight, one of the most influential voices in the MAGA movement says it's not enough.
We need Pam Bondi, Todd Blanche, Dan Bongino, Kash Patel. Boom, 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 boom. It's been 10 days since you've leaked this thing on the holiday weekend, and you still have not done a straight to camera, straight to the sticks press conference. Here's what we looked for. Here's what actually existed. Here's why we reached the conclusion that we did.
And now some of the president's supporters are calling for a special counsel to investigate the Epstein files. Asked today if he would consider appointing one, the president said, quote, I have nothing to do with it. David.
Mary Bruce at the
November 21st, today, Nancy Mace says that she, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Bobart ran out of patience a long time ago with Trump's DOJ over the Epstein files. The group of GOP women had been among the President Donald Trump's most loyal supporters, but refused to buckle in calling for the release of the Epstein files. And look what happened on November 12th, 2025. Top administration officials met with Lauren Boebert about House vote on the release of the Epstein files. Officials wanted Boebert to drop her support for their release, sources say. There's a lot of strong arming going on behind the scenes. Top officials met with Representative Lauren Boebert Wednesday morning about the effort to force a House vote on the release of the Justice Department's Epstein files. And did y'all see a couple of days ago when Trump had a very sore throat and his voice sounded like he had laryngitis almost, and he could hardly talk? Did y'all see all that? Listen to this supposed secretly recorded conversation that Trump is screaming at somebody over Marjorie Taylor Greene at the top of his lungs.
The Epstein files. Fuck Marjorie. Not releasing the Epstein files. Fuck Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't care what you do. Start a fucking war. Just don't let them get out. If I go down, I will bring all of you down with me. Not releasing the Epstein files. Fuck Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't care what you do. Start a fucking war. Just don't let them get out. If I go down, I will bring all of you down with me. Not releasing the Epstein files. Fuck Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't care what you do. Start a fucking war. Just don't let them get out. If I go down, I will bring all of you down with me.
And here's Trump's official explanation on why he's got a sore throat. On Monday, November 17th, President Donald Trump's voice sounded noticeably hoarse during a press interaction, which led to speculation about his health. Trump addressed the concern directly, stating that he felt great and attributed the raspy voice to shouting during a heated trade discussion. When asked by a reporter if he was feeling all right because of his voice sounded a little rough, Trump responded, "I was shouting at people because they were stupid about something to have to do with trade and a country." He added that he blew his stack at those people and had straightened it out. Okay, let's break down Trump's words, okay? Trump said, "I was shouting at people." What people? What people? Staff? People of other countries? Or was he really shouting at people over Marjorie Taylor Greene pushing this so hard? But he says, "I was shouting at people." How general and vague is that? Because they, whoever they are, because they were stupid about something. What is the something? Having to do with trade. They were stupid about something having to do with trade and a country. A fifth grader could tell a better lie than that. When asked by a reporter if Trump was feeling all right because his voice sounded a little rough, Trump responded, "I was shouting at people because they were stupid about something having to do with trade and a country." And he added that he blew his stack at those people and he straightened it out. Is this how he lost his voice?
Not releasing the Epstein files. Fuck Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't care what you do. Start a fucking war. Just don't let them get out. If I go down, I will bring all of you down with me. Not releasing the Epstein files. Fuck Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't care what you do. Start a fucking war. Just don't let them get out. If I go down, I will bring all of you down with me. Not releasing the Epstein files. Not releasing the Epstein files. Fuck Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't care what you do. Start a fucking war. Just don't let them get out. If I go down, I will bring all of you down with me.
When asked by a reporter if he was feeling all right because his voice sounded a little rough, Trump responded, "I was shouting at people because they were stupid about something having to do with trade and a country." And he added that he blew his stack at those people and had straightened it out.
Mr. President, I have a question about Venezuela, but can I just first ask, the health of the president's always news. Your voice sounds a little rough. Are you feeling all right?
I feel great. I was shouting at people because they were stupid about something having to do with trade in a country, and I straightened it out. But I blew my stack at these people.
Well, it sounds like there's a follow-up there, but can I ask you about Venezuela?
So is his threats what straightened it all out?
We have some pretty major news right now. Marjorie Taylor Greene now says she's facing a hotbed of threats to her life, egged on and fueled by Donald Trump. She's saying that she now feels and understands how the survivors of Epstein's crimes have felt for many years, as they felt threats in their own lives because they have stood up to powerful people. She now says that private security companies have contacted her, telling her that there is a, quote, hotbed of threats against her life. Greene's daughter put out a tweet saying, "Pray for my mom's safety." This is a significant development because MAGA, the base that Marjorie Taylor Greene embraced and the base that embraced her, is now seemingly threatening her life, according to her. And it's all being fueled by one man, the President of the United States of America. In any other presidency, this would be a bombshell of epic proportions. And I think we should insane wash what's happening right now in our nation. Spread the word.
Breaking. This was November 18th. Marjorie Taylor Greene just shocked Washington by accusing Donald Trump of being the real traitor, saying he serves foreign countries and himself. More Republicans should be following her lead. For once, Marjorie Taylor Greene is showing the strength to stand up for what she believes in and not what a corrupt con man demands after throwing a tantrum. If she can break from Trump's grip, every Republican with a spine should be doing the same. Do y'all remember? It says, wow, Marjorie Taylor Greene just clapped back big time and suggested Donald Trump is the traitor. I was called a traitor by a man that I fought for 6 years. I gave him my loyalty for free. Let me tell you what a traitor is. It is an American who serves foreign countries and themselves. Do y'all remember how close she was to Trump in the beginning? Y'all remember when Marjorie Taylor Greene and Speaker of the House McCarthy and Matt Gaetz were all big, huge MAGA supporters? You couldn't have been any more louder of a MAGA supporter than Marjorie Taylor Greene, but the blinders are falling off. She's up close and personal. She was spending millions of dollars because she believed in him, believed in Trump, and she's seeing him for who he really was. Then he turns on her, calls her nasty, calls her wacky, calls her a traitor, because she's wanting to see the list of the people that were sexually abusing girls, boys, young children, and young adults. And he blew his gasket, and he said, if these files get released, I'm pulling all of y'all down. Then he says, I lost my voice because I was shouting at some people over something to do with trade in a country, but I straightened it out. But I blew my gasket on them, but I got this straightened out. Now, did he strong-arm some people? Was the government putting threats on Marjorie Taylor Greene's life? And Trump's discounting it? But this should be big news, that a congressperson feels threatened by the President of the United States, so much so that they're turning in their resignation. Let's keep going.
Just saw a video that I'm still trying to process it, because I never would have thought a MAGA Trump supporter, staunch defender of Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, would put up, you know what? Would put up a sign outside her office door, I believe, at her job, a good job, showing that his signatures over time look like the signature on Jeffrey Epstein's birthday card. I don't like her. I don't trust her. But girl, you got, I don't know if it's the audacity or the courage or just what. I'm here for her doing it to Donald Trump, though. I am. Y'all look for yourself, okay? Y'all don't even know how it makes you feel.
Hey, Marjorie Taylor Greene is getting death threats because of the things Trump is saying. So I think it'd be all nice if we could all pray for Marjorie Taylor Greene because she's an American hero and she deserves respect and the ability of freedom of speech to say what she wants to say. Because this is America. We don't do cancel culture here. That's bullshit liberal stuff.
On November 11th, about 10 days ago, Trump says Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene has lost her way after criticism over foreign policy focus.
The president says he's withdrawing support for you. The president says he's withdrawing support for you, encouraging primary challengers. You were one of his biggest supporters. What do you think happened here?
Well, Dana, thank you for having me on, and that is true. I stood with President Trump when virtually no one else did. Campaigned all over the country, spent millions of my own dollars helping him get elected, and I think that's incredibly important. And I do support him and his administration, and I support them in delivering the campaign promises we made to the American people. His remarks, of course, have been hurtful. However, I have something in my heart that I think is incredibly important for our country, and that is to end the toxic fighting in politics. And this has been going on for years, and it has divided our country, split up friends and families, neighbors, and it's not solving our problems. The most hurtful thing he said, which is absolutely untrue, is he called me a traitor, and that is so extremely wrong. And those are the types of words used that can radicalize people against me and put my life in danger.
What do you think happened? What do you think is the reason for this?
Unfortunately, it has all come down to the Epstein files, and that is shocking. And, you know, I stand with these women. I stand with rape victims. I stand with children who are in terrible sex abuse situations, and I stand with survivors of trafficking and those that are trapped in sex trafficking. And I will not apologize for that. I believe the country deserves transparency in these files, and I don't believe that rich, powerful people should be protected if they have done anything wrong. And so I'm standing with the women, and I will continue to do my small part to get the files released.
And just recently, Trump was calling congressmen who were telling servicemen that they could defy an unlawful order. Trump started calling them traitors and calling for them to be executed. Senator Rand Paul, I saw a clip, but now I can't find it, recently stated that rhetoric like calling political opponents traitors is dangerous, like he called Marjorie Taylor Greene a traitor, that this is dangerous and could incite violence. Rand Paul made these comments in response to President Trump's social media post where he called several Democrat members of Congress traitors and suggested that their actions were punishable by death. Rand Paul's specific comments included, I don't think it's really a good idea to talk about jailing your political opponents or whatever. He explained that such language stirs up people who may not be stable and who may think, traitors, what do we do with traitors? He says, I don't think it's a really good idea to talk about jailing your political opponents or hanging them or whatever. He explained that such language stirs up people amongst us who may not be stable, who may think, well, traitors, what do we do with traitors? It's the death penalty. Maybe I'll just take matters into my own hands, which is not something we should be encouraging. He advocates for political disagreements to be worked out civilly. And this is not civil.
Not releasing the Epstein files. Fuck Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't care what you do. Start a fucking war. Just don't let them get out. If I go down, I will bring all of you down with me.
We have breaking news right now. Marjorie Taylor Greene just blasted Donald Trump after he pulled her endorsement. And she is saying the reason he pulled her endorsement was because today she texted him about the Epstein files, and she has receipts. So this is from her. President Trump just attacked me and lied about me. I haven't called him at all, but I did send these text messages today. Apparently this is what sends him over the edge, the Epstein files. And of course, he's coming after me hard to make an example to scare all the other Republicans before next week's vote to release the Epstein files. It's astonishing, really, how hard he's fighting to stop the Epstein files from coming out that it actually goes to this level. This is a text message from her to Donald Trump today. Check the flight logs of Epstein's plane. Bill Clinton's on there, Hillary too. For many of us, releasing the Epstein files has always been about the victims of Epstein, but we also believe that Democrat bad guys like Clinton were entangled and involved. Epstein was a spider that wove the web. Lean into. This is a text she got back from the White House, the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. In every single interview, this is her response. I have defended President Trump. I've said over and over that he's done nothing wrong, and their attorney says he's the only one who helped. Stop ignoring the women. Many of them literally voted for President Trump and said so publicly. Absolutely stunning meltdown happening in the MAGA world right now. Spread the word.
This is from yesterday. Marjorie Taylor Greene's breakup shakes MAGA. Mom and dad are separated. In Greene's Floyd County, Georgia congressional district, much of the MAGA base has her back against Donald Trump, who has called her a traitor. From November 20th, Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene had a falling out over Epstein. Marjorie Taylor Greene rose to prominence as one of President Trump's most outspoken allies, but in recent months, she's begun to criticize him. What is driving the shift? The Epstein files. Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene engage in war of words over Epstein investigation. The president has vowed to back a primary challenger against Marjorie Taylor Greene. Trump rescinds support for Marjorie Taylor Greene, marking major political breakup. So it's been building behind the scene for a few weeks. Epstein battle has ripped MAGA apart, Marjorie Taylor Greene says. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, the once steadfast ally of Donald Trump, who has since fallen out with the president, said the saga around the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein has ripped MAGA apart. Now, y'all think about this. Think about what we're talking about. Donald Trump is getting mad at somebody that's wanting to prosecute the people that sexually violated grown men, that sexually assaulted and violated young girls, and I read in some cases young boys. And Trump is out to destroy her. Marjorie Taylor Greene's getting calls that there are legitimate threats on her life over this. Trump screaming at the top of his lungs that y'all better stop Marjorie Taylor Greene from releasing these files. And then now she abruptly resigns. Her daughter says, pray for my mom. 4 days ago, Marjorie Taylor Greene says Trump policies are not America first. Now, y'all, she was like right underneath Trump. She knows him better than any of the people on the Trump train. She was one of the most loyal members on the Trump train. She spent millions of dollars because she believed in him, the gilded poo-poo, and now she's smelling the poo-poo for what it is. And if she's up close and personal and now she smells the poo-poo, why would somebody that doesn't know Trump, a Trump supporter who's never met him, who's wearing their little MAGA hat, believe in every single thing that he says? I'm hearing that Fleetwood Mac song. Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. Lie to them, Trumpy. They'll believe you. But what did Trump say? I have the most loyal supporters. I could stand out in New York City and shoot somebody and not lose a supporter. Okay? Marjorie Taylor Greene, once one of Trump's strongest supporters in Congress, called his foreign policies not America first, even though, because he's a snake and he talks out of both sides of his forked tongue. On one side, he's saying, oh, y'all vote for me, I'm America first. And his actions are not lining up with his words. She says his foreign policies are not America first, and his recent attacks against her can put my life in danger. Now, y'all remember a few months ago, she said she could not pass a vote for the Genius bill, the Genius Act, because it was the mark of the beast.
She says here, Congress is secretly pushing for a cashless society, citing the mark of the beast.
The groundwork is being laid, currency that can be controlled by the federal government. I've read the Bible and I believe what Revelations 13, 16 through 17 says, and I just cannot vote for a future system that will do that.
She says here, Congress is secretly pushing for a cashless society, citing the mark of the beast.
The groundwork is being laid, currency that can be controlled by the federal government. I've read the Bible and I believe what Revelations 13, 16 through 17 says, and I just cannot vote for a future system that will do that.
She said that on the Steve Bannon show, that the Genius Act is laying the groundwork for the mark of the beast. She's been in the belly of the beast. She sees everything, and she's telling us what is over there. She's telling us how dirty he is, how nasty he is, how shysty he is, what he's got planned. His plans are not America first. And now he's got her in fear of her life, threatening people to the point of screaming at the top of his lungs to shut her down. Her daughter saying, please pray for my mom because her life is in danger because she's exposing the beast. But people think he's for America.
Tell you what, 6 months in, Steve, and here we are turning back on the campaign promises, and we bombed Iran on behalf of Israel. Yes, it was on behalf of Israel. We're entering a nuclear war, the World War III, because the entire world is going to erupt. And you want to know the people that are cheering it on right now? Their tune is going to drastically change the minute we start seeing flag-draped coffins on the nightly news, on Fox News that brainwashes all the baby boomers, and on CNN that brainwashes all the Democrat baby boomers. And that is exactly how this is going to go down.
June 22nd, 2025. I'm sick of it. Marjorie Taylor Greene blasts Trump's decision to betray MAGA with the Iran strike. May 3rd, 2025. Frustrated, Marjorie Taylor Greene unleashes a laundry list of complaints against the Trump administration. And y'all remember this? Marjorie Taylor Greene was introducing a bill to stop the chemtrails. Yes, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene introduced the Clear Skies Act, H.R. 4403, in July 2025, a bill aimed at federally prohibiting weather modification activities, including geoengineering and cloud seeding, making them felony offenses. She was voting against the AI, what Trump is wanting to bring, the Genius Act, the big, beautiful bill, people losing their jobs, voting against stopping the chemtrails. She was voting to release the Epstein files.
You have problems with the bill, just like Elon Musk has said. I mean, do you echo some of the concerns that he has?
I have one serious problem with the bill, and that is destroying state rights and federalism to allow AI to run rampant over 10 years. And AI, I think, is one of the most unknown and unpredictable industries going forward. And I can tell you right now, if you look up the jobs that AI will replace, I'm looking at every single one of you. And over the next 10 years, all of the people here in the press, your jobs will be replaced by AI. And I am 100% opposed. And I will not vote for any bill that destroys federalism and takes away states' rights, the ability to regulate and make laws when it regards humans and AI. And this is a warning shot for everyone. I don't care what your political party is. I do not care if you hate my guts or you love me or you don't care about me whatsoever. I think every single human matters. And I think this is an issue I'll go to the mat on. I love many of the policies because they fund the president's campaign promises. I can also say I don't like the price tag. I can agree with Elon there. I can agree with the president on the good things in the bill, but I can also tell every single Republican in the House and the Senate, I don't care what you change it to, if you are destroying
state rights. I'm out.
Trump's Marjorie Taylor Greene breakup turns ugly as he plots to destroy her. The president won't rest until he has revenge on his once favorite Republican. The bad blood between Donald Trump and his recently dethroned MAGA princess Marjorie Taylor Greene is only just starting to spill. The president has issued a directive to destroy Marjorie Taylor Greene amid his volatile falling out with the Georgia lawmaker. Members of Trump inner circle told the outlet ZDO on Tuesday. Previously one of his most staunch supporters, 51-year-old Greene dramatically split with Trump over his approach to health care, affordability, and the Jeffrey Epstein scandal, while repeatedly accusing him of turning his back on America First policies. Trump feels very betrayed, one senior Trump administrative official told the outlet. And y'all remember Trump says he told Dr. Phil that revenge was justified? He gave her the most coveted endorsement in American politics, and she's spitting in his face. But he never endorsed her. Trump has previously told advisors that Greene was his favorite House Republican and has sung her praises, including once gushing over her physical fitness and how easily she could take large male Republican politicians in a fight. Now the president has declared war against the MAGA mouthpiece, publicly calling her a traitor, a disgrace to the Republican Party, and a ranting lunatic in a series of Truth Social posts on Friday and Saturday. Wacky Marjorie Taylor Greene, remember Greene turns to brown, this is Trump's post, where there is rot involved, is working overtime to try to portray herself as a victim when in all actuality she is the cause of her own problems. Yeah, in other words, get in line. In fact, nobody cares about this traitor to our country. It's no secret the president holds grudges against his enemies, but he reportedly has a special loathing for ungrateful Republicans whom he built up from nothing. And which is apparently what he thinks of Greene.
Not releasing the Epstein files. Fuck Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't care what you do. Start a fucking war. Just don't let them get out. If I go down, I will bring all of you down with me.
And Marjorie Taylor Greene responded with, I am now being contacted by private security firms with warnings for my safety as a hotbed of threats against me are being fueled and egged on by the most powerful man in the world. How would you like feeling Donald Trump was putting your life in danger, being the president of the United States? And how much power does he have, and how many people does he have to take you out? Does the Antichrist betray his friends? Yes, the Antichrist is described in religious texts as a figure who will betray his friends and allies. You remember when Tucker Carlson was his buddy old pal, and Trump and Tucker Carlson had a falling out? And then him and Elon were buddy, and him and Elon had a falling out? And him and Candace Owens were buddy, and then him and Candace had a falling out? So all these people that walked up close to Trump and saw him in action and sat at tables with him and heard conversations that he had, they all have had a falling out with him. But the people, the everyday Joe Smith who's sitting at the house, sitting in his recliner watching Trump on TV saying, that's my president, still believing in a man that they do not even know. And the people that walked up close to him, they're falling out with him. And out of fear for her life, because of Jeffrey Epstein, Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia, a former Trump loyalist, says she is resigning from Congress. And I believe she loved her job. But Marjorie Taylor Greene is learning that loyalty is a one-way street with Trump. So I show you all that to show you that Trump is not squeaky clean. that he has shady history with Epstein, that he is trying with everything in him to not let it come out. Y'all, I've heard that there was some really bad stuff in these files and that it was not just child sex trafficking. Think organ harvesting. Think um think organ harvesting. Think adrenochrome. I heard it's very, very, very bad. And now she's in fear of her life. The Bible says, "Cursed is the man that puts his confidence in the arm of a man, the arm of the flesh, but blessed is he who trusts in the Lord." I'm making this video to call your affections off of Trump and put them back on Jesus, and pray for Marjorie Taylor Greene's safety. I love y'all. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye. If you appreciate the content that you find on this channel, would you prayerfully consider supporting the ministry?